You guys, I cannot get that VS 1400 off my mind. Equally as hard to get off my mind is the fact that I still think I really, really want a bike to fucking build, man. I want to build something. And I'm still undecided about it, but I think right now I'm torn between the Honda CB750 and the XS1100 Yamaha. You just can't get a deeper, throatier, beefier sounding fucking inline 4 engine than that XS1100, man. But there's just, you know, there's things about it that I personally have a few reservations about. And it has nothing to do with the performance of the engine. More, it's really just my skill as a builder, which is less than zero, practically. Mostly just because it's shaft drive, and I don't know, because I would definitely want to elongate the frame on the custom frame that I put it on. And yeah, is that a C50? Or C90? It kind of looks like a C90 from here. But yeah, I just want that XS1100 on its own style bobber frame, and I want to, you know, in order to do that, that's totally a C90. Hell yeah, brother. And you know, the challenge with that is the shaft drive, I think, just because I don't know if I'll be able to find a drive shaft that can just be made and machined and make sure it's all got all the correct splines and all that junk. I could be wrong though. I have no experience with this. It could be much harder just to find a longer fucking chain for a CB750 engine. And maybe you guys can tell me in the comments, if any of you guys have Honda CB750 experience, let me know down in the comments where the differences lie between the Honda CB750 DOHC, or dual overhead cam, and the much earlier, well, not much earlier, but like, you know, a little bit earlier CB750 single overhead cam. So far, the things I've noticed are that the SOHC is like, well, I mean, it's fucking sexy. It's a gorgeous little thing, and that is a Triumph Bonneville. Good on you, sir. And you know, the SOHC, it looks awesome, but dude, it doesn't sound anywhere near as cool as the DOHC. The twin cam is just like, it just has a whole nother layer of throatiness. I love it. Sounds like it's grunting. And I love that. Because my intention is sort of to build, like, you know, maybe, well, okay, I think I've settled on a bobber style. And I think I've settled on it being, you know, I'd ideally like to have two bikes. I'd like to have an around town bobber, and I'd like to have a long range bike. That's kind of what I'm kind of going with. I mean, I don't know. Depending on how well the engine I choose performs on the bobber, I might just fucking, my nose itches. I gotta change this microphone, dead cat. The yeah, the bobber, you know, depending on how well that engine performs, I might just have that my only bike, just because I know I'm gonna love the way it's gonna turn out. I plan on spending a good bit of time working on every detail. Whereas I'd like to have a 1400 for interstate, you know, just trips and all that. But I can't tell if part of me wants the 1400 over the project just because I want a bike to ride in the interim between the build and then ultimately to the road of the bobber, or if I truly want just the 1400 as a highway bike and keep the bobber, you know, restricted to the cities. I don't know, that's for later. Anyway, back to my reservations about the engines and which I should choose. The CB looks like it would be easier to build around. I don't care whether or not it's DOHC at this point, I'm just talking about how to build it. First of all, chain drive. Second of all, it is a smaller engine, and I'm assuming it will be a better performer around town. God, in a wave. And I'm thinking that, okay, so one of the things I've heard about the XS11 is that it is a highway slab monster. But the second you get that thing in the corners, man, it's like, apparently it gets real sketchy. Apparently that thing, just in its natural stock frame, didn't handle very well in the turns. And part of that being because it's an older shaft drive and it's subject to shaft dive. And I think it's some kind of reversal with how it was actually done, so that it kind of like jumps up on you instead of going down. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Maybe I have that backwards. But there's that concern. And then there's the building concern. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. All I know is the XS11 sounds the best. Without a doubt, it sounds the best. And the whole concept for this bobber that I'm trying to think about is that I want it to be, I do not want a V-twin. I've definitely made that decision. And I love V-twins, don't get me wrong. Like, what's this one? I don't know what that was. Either way, I love V-twins, but I love the idea of a bobber slash chopper with just a big old mound of fucking metal hanging off the front. Like, I want this bike to like give the appearance that I'm sitting on top of an engine and then two wheels have somehow been strapped to it. It's kind of a little, you know, hyperbolic, but that's the kind of vision I have. I just want this bobber to look like just a straight up muscle bike. Look, it's you! Oh! Yeah. So the bike needs to look good. It needs to sound good, and I have to like riding it. Those are just my three criteria. And oh god, traffic. Gotta love it. And yeah, so it's down to the CB750. I don't know which cam setup I'm gonna go with yet, although I do really like the idea of the single overhead cam being kickstart. I like the idea of kickstarting a bike. That could change because I've never actually owned one, but it looks cool. And yeah, the 750, I've been looking up videos, and it actually looks pretty fucking cool. I was kind of hesitant at first, but just thinking in terms of practicality, I think the 750 is actually the king as far as bike builds go. And I know there's a lot of people out there that'll agree with that, just because it's a very popular platform, because it was considered the first super bike. And I want it to look, I want that cool super bike feel in an old school bobber look, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that's enough of that. That's just my conceptions in my head of what I would like to do in the future as far as my career in motorcycling goes. My nose itches so much. This is hell. This is exactly what hell must be like. Hey, kitty.
Fuck you!
Now, where is that GameStop? Yarr.